Oh, this? Don't mind this. It's just another token birthday video. Yeah, I know. This is why I don't get spoilers.
I know, it's a couple days late. So the intro that I made, I shot that a couple days ago, and then I was like, I'm going to do a video, no timer, and I'm going to reflect on, because a year ago I did a video called 5 Things I'd Like to See Before Flesh and Blood Turned 3. I figured I'd look at that, revisit, and then come back and do more. So I shot that, and like half of it was whining. Because it's kind of the natural flow of that conversation of let's provide feedback at the year-end. It's not a year-end review. There's no merit review here. You get those on a regular basis. This is a birthday. Let's celebrate. I do regret the last one kind of a little bit. But like, it's a birthday. Gonna do a little bit of celebration, especially given that this is one of the wildest and coolest years of my life when it comes to things I do for hobbies. And I've got Flesh and Blood and LSS and the community to thank for that. So we are going to go timer. I know I tend to do like a minute or so prior to timer, but timer, boom. Here we go. First off, of course, happy freaking birthday. It's so wild that especially the last like 2 years of TCGs, and Lord knows if you've been checking out the channel, I've gone to town on some of them. But the one that is, I feel, doing the best and has is at such a good place right now is the only one that did not try to cater and leap into all of the hype that everybody else did. Like, how cool is that? Like 3 years later, you're telling me that there's a community that is so aggressively like bringing new people in, and people are flocking to the game, or maybe not flocking to the game, like in droves. But when somebody says, hey, I want to do something for my local game store, I want to get people in, the community flocks to them and says, we want to help. Like, look what's happening in Brazil and what happened to Vietnam and what happens basically anytime anybody says, hey, how do I get my store into this game? 3 years after, that is still the main sentiment. 3 years after, that is still what everybody is excited to do, and that's what the conversation is, and I love that. And I love that I've been able to kind of translate that into kind of my own role, because I have really Flesh and Blood and LSS in this community to thank for having a job in this industry. Like, I never thought, and I know most people never thought, like, I'm just going to engage in a hobby and I'm going to do something fun, and that would turn into a job or some kind of crazy recognition. Like, I can't imagine, like, Miss Chalice when she said, I'm going to do an Azalea cosplay, that suddenly she's got, she's getting a cool care package, and anybody else who cosplays gets a special card made for them and becomes a subculture. Like, how cool is that? How neat is it, especially this year, to see this game branch out into other things outside of just the competitive? And it's neat to be a part of that. And I thank them greatly for working with me. So we've chatted directly from time to time. They didn't, the Learn to Play kit didn't get any cease and desists or anything like that. And they were even gracious enough, because I work for Genesis, I'm still chatting with some of them. I still chat with some of the crew, like, Chris and Alan. I've been thanked, like, hey, or congratulated, like, hey, awesome. Like, that's cool that it wasn't like, how dare you, right? And I know I actually had a chat with a few people, with somebody who's like, I thought you left the game because you went to go work for someone else. Like, no. But I like that, in that level of integrity of like, hey, we still like what you're doing. It's so cool to see, and it's so cool to still see this upward momentum. It's so cool to see the competition is still the main focus. I'm so excited for Worlds, and I'm so sad that I can't make it. And it's because the wife will kill me. And there'll be more on that later. There actually will. So that's been, it's been really fun to be a part of. So God, happy freaking birthday. Here's to number 4, where I'm really excited for Dynasty. I love what they're doing with Dynasty. By the way, one of the things I said in that video was to engage with the community, not at them. And the Dynasty spoilers are perfect for that. One of the struggles I had with like Everfest was that it felt a little bit, I'm sorry guys, but a little bit elitist of like, hey, we get boxes, we're just gonna show this off. And who's the hypiest person who we can share these cool things with? And now people are just randomly getting spoilers, and some of them seem to be tailor-made, custom for those individuals. Like as Go Again Gaming, which you've got to go subscribe to. Holy crap. Gets the bow because he's all about the Azalea cult. Like that stuff. Oh, do more of that. That's so good. That's the kind of stuff that is a blast to see and be a part of. And I love seeing that LSS is kind of starting to have a little bit more fun with this creation. And I wish them the absolute best. And I'm checking my timer. I got a minute. I wish them the absolute best as they move forward. Congratulations on having this first Worlds. Oh, that's gonna be awesome, and I'm very, very jealous. But at least I get to be a part of Battle Hard in Denver. We finally got a big event in Denver. It wasn't a calling, but that's okay. But I will be doing live streaming for that. I'll be probably trying to find some commentators as well for it. But it's cool. I love it. So again, happy birthday. Thank you so much, LSS, for helping guide kind of my journey and my adventure and not getting on my case when that adventure wasn't a job with you. But, it's not like it wasn't an offer or anything like that. But it is great that they are building everybody up. And yeah, I think that's cool one to end on.